Ever wonder how a lawyer proves that a country is basically a disaster movie without actually flying there and dodging explosions themselves? Turns out you do not need a passport stamp, you need paperwork, and lots of it. Country conditions reports are basically the receipts that show a judge why sending someone back home could be like returning a cat to a room full of rocking chairs. They come from places like the State Department, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, and the United Nations, all groups that spend their days tracking chaos so lawyers do not have to guess. Here is the twist nobody expects. The government itself often writes some of the best evidence against itself. The State Department publishes yearly human rights reports on basically every country. And yes, sometimes it reads like a true crime documentary starring entire regimes. But here's where people mess up constantly. They think one flashy news article is enough. One article is a snack, not a meal, and judges want a full-course dinner of corroborating sources. So what actually counts as credible? Government reports, respected non-governmental organizations, academic journals, and journalists with an actual track record, not some blog with 14 followers and a suspicious number of exclamation points. Expedited petitions are the speed round of immigration law. Think of it like fast food, but the stakes are someone's actual life instead of fries. That means lawyers cannot dump 1,000 pages on a judge and hope osmosis kicks in. They need it organized, dated, and painfully specific. Specific is the magic word here. Saying a country is dangerous is like saying water is wet, it tells nobody anything useful. Saying that a specific ethnic or political group faces documented violence in a specific region during a specific year, now that is a sentence with muscle. Let us talk about the timeline trap, because conditions change fast and reports age like unrefrigerated seafood. A report from 2019 describing a peaceful region might be completely useless if a coup happened in 2023, so freshness matters more than people think. Translation and authentication also trip people up constantly. A foreign language newspaper clipping with no certified translation is basically modern art to an American judge. Interesting but unclear. Everything needs a certified translation and ideally a clear chain showing where it came from and who is vouching for it. Expert declarations are the secret weapon nobody talks about enough. A professor, a former diplomat, or a country conditions specialist can basically translate chaos into a clean legal narrative that connects the dots between the general reports and the specific person's fear. Here is a fun historical nugget. This whole approach traces back to asylum law expanding after the 1980 Refugee Act, which finally gave the United States a formal system for saying, yes, we believe you, the monsters back home are real. Before that, decisions were way more vibes-based, which is a wild thing to admit about life or death rulings. Doubt shows up a lot in this process too. Lawyers sometimes worry that judges will just assume every asylum story is exaggerated. The fix is not arguing harder. It is stacking so much boring, official, cross-referenced evidence that skepticism has nowhere left to hide. Community and advocacy groups matter here as well. Local organizations on the ground often catch details that big international reports miss completely. A 5-line quote from a regional human rights group can sometimes carry more emotional weight than 50 pages of statistics. So the real lesson is not just gather evidence, it is gather the right evidence. Organize it like your future depends on it. Because for someone, it actually does. Preparation beats panic every single time, and a well-built country conditions packet is basically armor made of paperwork. If any of this got your brain buzzing, and you want to learn more about how we help connect people with the right legal minds for exactly this kind of case, check out our links in the description below.